All right, guys. All right, it's Friday here, and so I got some stuff done. First off, let's look and see what I got done. I got this put together. It's actually not mocked up anymore. It's assembled. A few things need to be Loctited, and a few things need to be tightened up just to make sure that they're 100% flush and everything, or torqued in as good as they are. But it is assembled officially. Uh, I got the body posts in. The servo isn't taped down yet. There's still stuff I got to do. So let's start with that. So I didn't take the time to install the ring and pinion gear for the overdrive and the front axle yet that I got from SSD. They're right here. They are going in. I just probably will do it this weekend. I was really anxious to see if these set screws were going to work in this skid. I was really anxious to see how if the links were actually going to bolt up, because I haven't had them bolted up yet until yesterday. And I just kind of eyeballed them and had them mocked up. And same thing with the drive lines. And I was able to get that all done yesterday. So that works. I mean, she's a roller. She's a roller now. The other thing is this pinion gear. Pinion gear I already talked about in one of the previous videos, but it's a 13 tooth pinion to go on the motor. But I'm not gonna throw this in there until I see what my top end speed, what my wheel speed is with this 1850 motor in there. I've never driven this truck, and so I want to see where it's at before I start modifying what's there. But I do have a lower option if I want to, and as far as teeth are concerned, if I don't got enough low end with this motor, which I probably will have, with the portals in the motor, and the overdrive in the front and all that, I have another option that I can go to right away and just gear it down. So that's there. And then I still have the electrical work to do. I haven't done any of that. I still got the XT60s to go from the ESC here. These two SC wires are getting an XT60. And then whatever batteries that I end up running, we'll get XT60s as well. And then I still got to put on the motor leads. This Brood motor did not come with any bullets on the motor leads, and so I still got these bare leads here that will go into the ESC. I got to throw those on. These will be going on either this weekend. They'll be going on this weekend sometime, hopefully. So that's going to happen. This is just some extra shrink tubing in case I need any of that for. I'll probably use it up over here because I don't have shrink tubing for that. So that's going to happen. And then, of course, this, I'll probably use some of this tonight just to mount this in here after I get done putting the XT60 on there. I got some, this is high-tack servo tape. It's not just regular servo tape, but it's the high-tack stuff. I've never even used regular servo tape, but I just went with the better or the more expensive stuff. And that's that. That's what I haven't done with the parts I got. And the other thing that I haven't done is I haven't, if you can see this, the panhard is not hooked up. So this panhard is not on there correctly yet. It's loose, ready to come out of there and be flipped, and so that I can mount this. But I need to go grab some pliers. I don't have any tools. Yesterday, like I literally, you see these Allen wrenches? And then this multi-tool that I borrowed from a friend, you can see it in the background there with those sockets. I borrowed that. I borrowed this Phillips screwdriver from him. And none of those tips really work, especially in some of the situations that screwdriver doesn't fit on this truck. Like, for instance, when I was putting in the set screws. So I had to use, here it was. So I had to use this Allen wrench to put set screws in, which I stripped it. It didn't strip out the set screw, but this wrench kind of gave way on me. It still works, but not that good. You got to be careful when using a strip tool. If it's stripped at all on the tip like this, you can see, it will strip out your nuts. And when that happens, it's a big deal because you could have, let's say you have a set screw inside of the skid and it strips out. Uh, I mean, shit, it's pretty hard to get out of there. I don't even know how I would go about that uh, on a 3mm screw. I don't even know if you could do anything about that. Same with the transmission. You don't want to have stuff that you can't get at very easily stripped. Some of these transmission ones are in an awkward place. They don't really have clearance. This one over here actually still needs to be tightened because of that issue. It doesn't really have clearance for a socket or anything to go on there. So you got to hold it with pliers to tighten it. And that's what I was getting at, is it, I haven't borrowed his pliers. I haven't went and borrowed his pliers to tighten that bolt and to twist the rod end on my panhard link. And I still need to flip this around. I went ahead. The great thing about gspees, you guys, if you don't know this already, which most people who have one know, is that there's lots of other aftermarket chassis. In my opinion, especially if you're going to go with portals, there's some that may even be better suited to a portal build. Like, I really like the Brazen ATL chassis. I have never used one, but if I was going to use something different than G-Speed, it would be the Brazen ATL to start with. But there's Northwest SD, Scattergun. There's the negative G swaps for the TRX4. There's Flat Gecko over in Europe. And of course, there's Brazen Scale. And then there's lots of other flat rail chassis. There's BP, all that. And there's a lot more. There's probably at least a half a dozen more companies that make flat rails. And some of them are pretty cool. Toyzuki's a really good one, more intricate. I'd be a little bit more intimidated. There's a decent community around Toyzuki too, but this community, the amount of people that have these and the amount of good, knowledgeable, skilled, experienced drivers, especially on the West Coast where I live, but nationwide, is huge. And they participate in this hobby. They're active in it. They compete. They build. They rebuild. They build again. They buy. They sell. They trade. They're on Facebook. They're on Instagram. They're on YouTube, posting videos and being involved, going to events and all that all the time. And they have a lot of experience. So anything, if it's like being part of a team, even if you don't compete, just having a G-Speed chassis, you can go on the G-Speed website anytime and ask any question about your build. And most likely there's going to be someone on there who has built that build and has advice for you, or a similar build, and it's really great. I was able to post this link up when I didn't know about my drag link. Instantly got a couple of different answers from people. Then I had an issue where, if you can see this, my drive line and one of my lower links down there is very close, and at full compression it was touching. And I found out that without this panhard linked up, this actually compresses a little bit more than it normally would, and plus the axle would rock and cause it to touch more also because that's not hooked up. And so I got some really good answers really quick, but that's enough about that. So we talked about what I haven't done yet. I still got to put the servo mount in. And then, all right, so let's talk about what came in the mail again really quick, just because I know it's already in the video. I just posted this to Facebook, but these Losi Mini springs I got from Mang, but I'm sending them here because I'm going to put those on soon. But my servo came in the mail, and my shock cups to be able to use the Losi springs showed up. And this servo, if you don't know about it, there's a great video by TRD Adventures where he uses one of these in his, I believe it's his Bronco. And this servo kicks ass, guys. It really does. There's a lot of really good servos on the market right now. This one was on sale for literally 33% off. I think it was yeah, it was $100 down from 150, and so I bought it. And I don't think for $100 you can find anything on the market that's better than this servo right now. It's super fast. It's super strong. There's a lot of good servos on the market. I really like In the Works a lot. Uh, it's not the end game servo for me. Eventually, I might run something that will run 4S that I could hook up to a 4S battery. I think I can run this on 4S. I don't know. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I got my last servo was a CR12 stock servo in the trusty CR12 up there. So this is my second truck only. This is my second RC ever. It's my first build, first G-Speed, first comp rig, da-da-da-da-da. But let's get into what I did here, what I have added. So if you look, I'm going to take this down so I can... If you look here, you can see the disc brake offsets that I got from SSD behind the wheels. I installed those. Those were a really great install. You just undo these 6 screws and leave them in the rim, and then set this behind it and screw it right back in. It's not, you think the wheel's gonna pop apart. Nothing came unbeaded. It literally took like 10 minutes to install all 4 of them. And now I wish I had a regular one. These are the hubs that were on the wheels, the aluminum hubs, and the ones I got are about 3 millimeters thicker, which isn't much, but when you add it up on both sides, that's 6 millimeters, which is something. So I got a little bit wider truck. That happened. That's new to this build. The main other thing is that I got the links in the drive lines and I got proper hardware. I got spacers. You can see where the shocks are. I got spacers. I got all this in and everything mounted up with the hardware. So that's about it, except for the body. And so I did my first cut. I cut my first body. I painted my first body, and I actually used 2 colors, which was a little intimidating, but it worked good. You can see it's not perfect. I got some, I didn't have one thing I would advise having to paint a body, and most of you guys know this, but if you don't, get a hobby knife, a cheap razor blade, or at least a razor blade. I didn't have anything but some scissors that I cut the body with, which were pretty good, but they're curved. And I really needed an X-Acto blade to do this better so I could get better lines on my tape. The other thing is this painter's tape for this type of stuff this is more for painting house and other stuff like where you don't need as fine a lines. The thinner blue like frog painter's tape is probably something. A thinner painter's tape is probably what I'll use next time, just because it's on plastic and you want a little bit more crisper lines when you're coming to something this small and shiny and stuff. So I really like how this came out though. Super happy about it. I still need to, this is about how it sits on there. Like from this view, it's cool. I really like how the decals came out. I got the trx4 face tattoo. I got the Creep logos. I got the Adidas logo. That's just stuck on it right now with the glue stick that I had in my drawer. So that's kind of goofy, but it's going to stay. I like it. I got the K&K sticker. All the decals came out great on the bed. The two-tone came out good enough. The mask worked great. I cut out one of the Star Special and put it on the hood here. And super happy with the body and the paint and everything. That was a real fun process. It did vape out my room pretty good with smell, which I'll probably find a better place to do this at eventually. But that happened. So we have a working body now. The only thing I need to do still is that I have to, for these rear shock hoops, I have to notch out this bed because I already cut the sides pretty low. And if you can see the stance on it, those rear shock hoops are kicking the butt up of it pretty high, and that's too high for me. I mean, it's cool having the ass end up, but not that high. And you can see it's lifted up off of the slider, and I want to set it back down, so I'm going to have to notch out the bed, which everybody does on gspees with this body. So the sticker's going to get cut up a little bit, but oh well. It is what it is. I got more stickers. They're cheap. So anyway, wish me luck. As soon as I do some more work on this truck, I'll do another video updating you guys on what's going on. The next thing will be doing some wire work. The first thing I'll do is the servo. I'll install the servo, the DSM, fix the panhard, install the servo. Then I'm gonna at the same time, I'll pull the shocks off in the front axle and do the overdrive in the shocks. And wish me luck. I don't have shock pliers yet. I did order my first tool, my first RC tool ever is this pair of scissors. I got some shock oil, I got some thread lock, paint, but I actually ordered a little $25 Eco Power toolkit that should be here in the next couple days, and that's going to help a lot to tighten up everything. And when I thread lock everything, I'll be able to use a proper driver, which I highly suggest, because as soon as you strip out a wrench halfway through putting something together, it's really frustrating. And then you still try to use it and it strips screws out. And just don't strip out your RC screws if you can avoid it, because I've almost lost some parts due to that, and it really set me back a couple of days. So anyway, I'll give you a video soon with the servo in there, the DSM in there, the shocks done, the overdrive done. And then after that, I'll probably do the little bit of soldering I got to do and mount the ESC and all that. And I should be getting that done within the next week. So I'll have another video for you guys soon. All right, thanks.